and welcome yet again. This time, it's Dwellers in the Dark with a brand new series. A series that is going to incorporate all of you guys when we meet up with you at the tournaments, because this one is called Free for All
GBHL's Fluffiest Armies.
Wow! This is tournament scene, right? Why would you bring a fluffy army to a tournament? Hang on a second. What is a fluffy army, in your opinion, Owen?
So, in my opinion, a fluffy army is an army which adheres to either a specific theme that appears in the writings of Tolkien or in the films by Peter Jackson, or is based on something that's alluded towards in those.
But isn't that very debatable? Because I remember I went to a tournament last year, 7 Stones, and I wanted to bring a fluffy army that had 2 Felbeasts and a load of Isengard. And yet they are within the book. But that's not what people would class as
because Dave, that kind of fluff exists within the second statement. In the books, the Felbeasts never fought a battle alongside those Isengard. But it is easily within the realms of the story that they may have done. Because Isengard at the time were crushing Rohan.
Yep.
And it is written that there were 2 ringwraiths on Felbeasts headed their way towards
one got shot,
and one gets shot by none other.
Okay, I'm being pedantic now. Legolas himself. Isn't that now classed as a battle?
Well, if it was, there weren't any other Urukai there, were there?
Okay, well... Yeah, okay.
So it's not really a battle.
And that's why I asked you the question, what is fluffy? Because everybody's idea, and we expect this, everybody's idea of fluffy is going to be different. I'm not being totally pedantic, it's just kind of like to demonstrate.
This is one of the questions we're going to be asking as we go around, because we want you to see that when you say to someone, my army's fluffy, and they say, no, it's not, it's beardy, well, it may well just be stubbly.
Oh, cheesy!
That's terrible.
Just eaten.
But yeah, so you're going to see different interpretations. You're going to see a scale, the scale of fluffiness to go along with the scale of proxy. So
when we interview you guys, you'll get your opportunity to tell us what your opinion is, and every opinion is valid. Okay,
some of them are wrong.
Everyone is right on our channel. I'm right. Okay. Now let's move aside from that. Okay, we're talking to you. We're interviewing you. This is quite positively strange to interview you. What's the fluffiest army you've taken, in your opinion?
Well, most of the fluffy armies I've ever taken, I've been given quite a lot of flack for. But then for 1 year, I took a theme to my army. So. In other realms of the world, there's a distinction between the theme and fluff. I don't think there is in Lord of the Rings, but my theme was the Battle of the 5 Armies. So for every time I turned up the tournament, I tried to have dwarves, elves, men, and if I could squeeze them in, I tried to get a wizard or eagles, only based on things that were there or could realistically be there, because at the time, there weren't all the rules out for the models that I needed.
Right.
And obviously there still aren't, because we still don't have the dwarves that we've just seen at Warhammer Fest.
Yes.
So with that season, one of the early lists I took that season was Gwahir, 2 Eagles, Bilbo, Legolas, and Alfred, which is basically, you've got an elf, you've got the hobbit, I didn't manage to get a dwarf in, unfortunately. And then you've got the Eagles, who are there, and then a man in Alfred. And everyone told me it was disgusting, filth. But actually, when we saw the film at the end of that year, they were all there.
Indeed.
And I was vindicated. Although Bilbo wasn't on a pony, so maybe not so much.
At the same time, as a fluffy army, I know you've just mentioned a very potentially competitive army.
Yeah, it finished 4th, I think.
Well, congratulations. It still falls in the remit of fluff.
Yeah.
Other than that, what's the next? When I talk about fluff, I think about things that you're going to put on a table and someone's going to look and they'll go, I'll shake your hand now because I've already won this game. Well, what's your opinion of that expression of fluff?
I don't think that really has any place in fluff, because I've never come across a fluffy army outside of the Fellowship, which has been completely uncompetitive.
Right.
And the Fellowship's issue is usually it doesn't suit the scenarios.
Ah, yes.
Pitch battle might do better because you've got blinding light, you've got shooting.
Yeah.
You've got, and as long if you get to pick and choose which heroes you have, I've always found if you build your army with a theme, then you can actually optimize it within it. So another example would be I took the King's Champion and Dwalin, each leading a war band of troops from their respective lists. I took Alfred leading some Lake Towns, and then I think I had Legolas in that list. And basically, again, it was from my 5 armies thing, and I wanted a contingent of dwarven soldiers who could look like they'd come to Erebor from the Iron Hills. And the best way I could get that in was by allying in various dwarves, and I wanted to do mostly dwarven contingents in that. And so once I wrote my initial list, I then optimised it. Well, upgrade a dwarf warrior to a Khazad Guard or an Iron Guard with some extra points. Take some spearmen with Alfred because I had, I wanted to get some Lake Town warriors in there that battle. They'd only just come out 2 weeks before, so I painted up 6 of them and took them with me. And actually, it did all right. I can't remember where I finished that tournament, but I was playing on table 2 for 2 of my games. And so all I did was I went, right, if I've got a defence 7 on the front rank, it's not so important to optimise that second rank and just, worked out the balance.
You see, I think we're going to be doing interviews with people who think, I brought some dwarfs and I brought some eagles because I saw eagles carrying dwarfs and it looked great, so that's what I did.
Yeah.
And that's pure fluff, and I like that idea. You bring them and you find ways to make them competitive. So a fluffy army isn't non-competitive. Yeah. Why else did you bring them? Why else did you bring a fluffy army?
Well, really, the reason I got into playing Lord of the Rings is because I love Lord of the Rings. And I think some people forget that when they're building armies and they start optimising right from the start.
Right.
So they take the heroes who are the best value for points or have the best special rule, or they start with synergies of heroes that are unrelated in terms of the
Legolas
story.
and Floy, perhaps?
Maybe Legolas and Floy, or you might get people employing Felbeast leading warrior goblins and things like that. So you go, well, I couldn't justify that. I would struggle very much to justify that.
Okay.
But I got into the game for that reason. They might not have done, and I respect that. But I try and adhere to some rules when I'm army building most of the time. Sometimes I just throw it fluff into the air and go pure filth, but sometimes you just want to rip through everything you meet.
So you're a very competitively able person.
I'm a competitive person, I think would be.
You're not always competitive.
No, I don't always compete at
yes.
Yeah.
But how did you get on? How do you get on with your fluff?
Choking on my drink.
This is streaming real life.
I've never. Don't make me laugh when I'm joking. I've never come below halfway down the list with a competitive army, and normally, if I've taken a fluffy army, and normally if I've taken fluff, I finish well. I won't win the tournament. That's fine. I think my best was 4th place with my Eagles, and my worst was 12th. 26-man tournament at a Mansfield.
Right.
And that was, I think, more down to the fact that I was really tired. / day 2 syndrome.
Gonna move on quickly because I know that we want to try and keep these nice and quick little paint job issues rather than overly long. Yeah. So, what was your best and your worst moment with your fluffy army?
I think my best moment. In fact, I'll start with my worst because my worst was brilliant. So my worst moment was the list with the dwarves and Alfred and whatever. And I was playing against Thomas Harrison's.
Good old Tom.
And he took Easterlings. It was his list was.
I've heard about his Easterling list.
His list was rubbish.
Didn't hear that. No, sorry, Tom.
But somehow we found ourselves playing on table 2, and the game. It was Lords of Battle, I think. Turn 1, he'd set himself up in a couple of places where he could bottleneck my army, and he had some cavalry so they were going to come around the side. I was feeling a little bit confident, moved forward, forgot to do Alfred's special rule, and Tom said, "It's fine, do it." And I went, "No, I've got to remember to do it in the priority phase." I moved forward, placed all my guys, said, "Right, shoot phase then." And he looked and he went, "I can see Alfred with these 2 bowmen without in the ways." And with the way the dwarves had ranked up was like that, with Alfred at one end and a bowman at the other end.
Oh.
And he had a couple of bowmen who needed in the ways who were around the edge. And the long and the short of it is Alfred died turn 1 to shooting,
painful.
and he was behind at least 5 guys and dwelling on a pony. But like true line of sight, and he died a horrible death. It was really embarrassing. And from there I lost the game. But that's because East End captains are amazing. They deserve all the credit they should get.
Okay, so tell me about your best, or was that your best moment by any chance?
Well, I mean, you can see the way I'm talking about it.
It was fun.
I was sad at the time to lose Alfred, but I'm playing a game.
But you know how you boys do. It was like it was like Tom was actually here because he's such a charming guy and a nice guy. The way he says it was, "I can see Alfred. I'm so sorry."
Yeah.
As if he was kind of encouraging you. Do you want to move him? And you, of course, was on. No, my mistake.
And I think my best moment was a moment of clarity in a game when we were playing Blockade from the Green Book, so you have to try and get your general off.
Yeah.
And I was playing against Joe and his filthy Angmar.
Joe Wilcock,
warrior.
by any chance?
Yeah.
Joe Wilcock, shout out to him, young man on his way up.
And he had Gundabad Shamans, and at the start of the game I was aware of what they could do. And I was using Eagles and Guahir as my general, and I was thinking I'm just going to fly Guahir off. So I flew towards one end of his line, and then he stepped forward, Gundabad Shaman, did his shatter on one of my Eagles. And we read the rules, and then we read the Eagle, and then we read the rules, and then we read the Eagle.
You lost
and I lost my thoughts.
So you lost your
And then
legs.
he paralysed him with a Barrow White. And suddenly, this game, which I thought I was honestly going to win in maybe 15 minutes, I was suddenly very worried, because if I'd have just put that Eagle and Guahir the other way around, Guahir would be lying on the floor, paralysed, with no claws. And the reason why it's my best moment was because then I'd used Alfred to give Guahir loads of might. And basically, Guahir heroic marched his way to the other end of the line and flew off the furthest corner of the board, while the rest of my army got mullered as they just lost. I mean, that day I learnt a whole new respect for Gundabad Shamans. But the reason why it was my best moment was because I still managed to win the game because Guahir got off, and the sense of accomplishment of winning a game that at the very start of the game I felt was a walk in the park and turned out not to be.
We need to get Joe Wilcock's side of the story. Joe, coming for you, my friend. We're going to do an interview with you. We're going to have a
And if
chat.
it wasn't you, Joe, I'm really sorry.
But if it wasn't, we're going to
to
interview you anyway, Joe, because it's people like Joe, it's people like Ryan Ratchford, it's all the people who get into the tournament scene, help the community, help the games, and come with little things like that just blew that eagle out of the air, literally.
And
that's fantastic.
It's the thing of, you can use a fluffy army well, you can use a filthy army badly. Both things are possible. Yep. But when you come across two people who use their armies well, you get really great moments in the game. Yes. And really, that's why we all play. Winning's great, but 50% of people in the tournament are going to lose, aren't they? So
yeah, and if they win or they lose and still have a good time, that's what tournaments are all about.
And taking a fluffy army, you're never a loser, because throughout the day you're going to have such a blast and so many thematic moments.
The beauty of it is in a 5 scenario tournament, only 5 out of 60 people are going to have to play me. So there's going to be fine for the rest. The other 50 odd people are going to be fine. Right, listen, this has been great. Cheers again, Owen, and thanks for telling us about your armies. Thanks for telling us about the bits and pieces. Let me finish. Put your finger down. And now you say.
If you've got a fluffy army you want to do an interview with us, comment below. We've got some people in mind. We'll be coming to find you. So just give us a comment, because
we'd love to have you on the channel. Seriously, we'd love for everyone in the community to have a voice. Because that's what it's all about. Okay.
Yeah. And if we spot you and we see something, a Fluffy Army, don't be surprised if we say, "Can we do a 5-minute interview with you?"
It'll be a lot shorter than this.
Well, it depends how waffly you are. If you're waffly like me, it could be an hour. Anyway.
Hey, listen, guys. Thanks very much. And as Owen would say,
comment, like, share it if you really want to. It's not very good. And of course, do subscribe. And we'll see you all soon.
Cheers, guys. Bye for now.